Hey, fifth grade. Good morning. So we're going to do a lesson today on time signatures and how many beats are in each measure when we tap a beat, how we feel that music. A lot of the times the music we've been doing up until now, with maybe one exception, have been very even 4-beat to a measure or to a group of rhythm sounds. For example, just copy this after me. You can see my hands tapping the beat in the air when you play. Can you tell that there are 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not all in the frame here. Let me move over. So that is an example of 4 beats in a measure. So I'm going to go to a form that shows, here we go, that shows when we're looking at a piece of music, what the numbers mean when we see the top and the bottom number. So for example, let me scroll down right here. So the top number means the number of beats that each group or each measure of music between the lines, bar lines, is going to have. Okay. The bottom number is the kind of note that is counted. So for example, the top number in this 2/4 time signature, it'll always be right beside this treble clef. The 2 means there will be 2 counts in each measure. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how they're divided. 2, and you can have any rhythm in there as long as that's the beat. The bottom number tells what kind of note gets the beat. What note are we using to count? Okay, are we using apples? Are we using bananas? Are we using dots? Well, we're using quarter notes. This is a quarter note. Okay, it's almost like thinking of it when you're looking at it like a fraction, you can name it as 1/4. And each quarter note equals 1 beat. Okay, so in this example, the time signature is 3/4. And that means how many beats are in each measure? 3, because the top number is how many beats are in each measure. What kind of note gets the count? Same as in 2/4. The bottom number is the same, so the quarter note also gets the count, and here they are for you. And if I said ready, play, we could tap it together. 1, 2, ready, play, and count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 3/4, 3 beats a measure. I'm going to come down here to 4/4. Same thing. The top number tells us, oh, there are 4 beats in each measure, and the bottom number means the quarter note again gets the beat. Now, even though this looks a little strange, because wait, where are all the quarter notes? You can have all kinds of combinations of notes. We just have to know, well, how many beats are in those notes. This is an example of a dotted half note, and I'm going to show you the breakdown of the notes in a moment. A dotted half note gets 3 beats. So there are 4 beats in this measure. Okay, we just don't tap this one 3 times. We tap it once. It lasts for 3. So when we tap it, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one would last, and then the next one would sound. So that's just an example. I'm going to show you a sheet that's in your Google Classroom. All right, I'm going to start from the very, very top. This is a sheet that's there for your reference. Why? Well, because if you ever need to review and go back and say, I don't actually know how many beats this note gets, I need to look at it. You can print this out. You can have it right by your computer with your stuff for school. You can keep it handy online and just look at it. So the main notes that we're going to just know from the values are going to be from 4 down to half. Okay, so not too many that we have to know. These are the basic ones. A whole note gets 4 beats. And then in this column, you'll see these are the rests that go with each note. So if you see a whole note, you'll know that it lasts this much. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, It's the whole thing. 1, 2, all 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think of it as a whole. It has a hole in it. And also its rest looks like you're walking along, boop, and you fall in a hole. So that's how I like to think of it. It helps me remember. Anything that helps you remember is great. You can use. So that's how many beats a whole note gets. The whole shebang, all 4. The dotted half note, I will show you with the half note because they're pretty similar, except the half note only gets 2 beats. And I'll scroll up here for myself so I can see it. The half note gets 2 beats. And if you add a dot, it gets now 3. That dot just means 1 more. Okay, just like in our example when I was showing you this example, there's that half note, it gets 2 beats, but there's that dot, it gets 3. Okay, that makes it a dotted half note. Now, how I like to remember that this is a half rest, all right, if I want to think of it as a hat, and HA are the first 2 letters of hat, HA are the first 2 letters of half, that's a half rest. That's how I distinguish it from the hole in the ground rest. Okay, same thing with the dot. It gets 1 more beat, and you know it's a dotted hat rest, dotted half rest. Okay, get that? It's a little fun joke. Okay, so I'm just going to move down here to this quarter note where this is the basic note that we've learned since first grade, and maybe even kindergarten. We've always talked about ta, 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 ta. That's the beat that we work with when we're improvising and when we are playing recorder, lots of quarter notes. And I call them, the syllable is ta. So a quarter note equals 1. 1 beat. That's all it gets, 1 beat. And you can tell it's a quarter note because it's solid, it's filled in. And this is its quarter rest. I'm sure you must have seen this before many times in my room, and we've talked about it, and we show it either like this or in the air like this. If there's no sound, that's what rest is. 0. And if you look here, this is where sometimes we get in a little trouble when we try to think of, okay, wait, 2 eighth notes, it means it's got 2 beats, but it doesn't because these 2 fit right into this one. So do this little test with me, okay? So we're going to take our hands and we're going to play the beat, 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 beat. These are quarter notes, okay? So there you're looking at it. Now we can say the TTs while we tap, and you'll see how they fit 2 into one of these. Ready? T, 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 T. See how, can you see how and feel how and hear how the TT, the second part, the second sound of TT is right here? That's called the upbeat. Let's try it again. Ready, go. T, 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 T. So it's like fractions, okay? Kind of like fractions. 2 of these fit into 1. So if I cut it in half and I get 1 eighth note, that is half. Okay, that is half a beat. I'm not going to ask you to be counting half notes. Eighth notes by themselves. Most of the time we're going to be counting them together. Okay, but just so you know, and this is at your disposal. This is your reference sheet. So you have it in your Google Classroom. Take it out, have it, refer to it, even when you're doing worksheets. It's really helpful to have. So I'm going to go back to this lesson now. This is where our song for the day gets a little challenging. So I'm going to play the song for you. The song is called 5/4 Groove. And as soon as you get the beat, just keep it very softly. I'm tapping my knees and you can't see me. So I'm just going to tap my hand, my palm, so you can see where the beat is. If you're not feeling it or hearing it, chances are you will. So let's just give a listen to this song, 5/4 Groove. Feel that beat. That's all you got to do. We're going to listen to it several times. Ready? That's the beat.
Saxophones are jamming all day, trumpets, drummers, clarinet. Improvising with a jazzy sound.
Keep it up.
vocals too. Skating is not singing along. With the single-up-a-da-boo. With the beat makes you want to move. With the single-up-a-da-boo. It's really quite real.
Chicka-mama-chaka,
Sing-along,
ching-along,
Shoo-ba-da-day-o.
shoo-ba-da-day-o,
Cuckoo-cuckoo-dwee-o.
Cuckoo-cuckoo-dwee-o,
Chicka-mama-chaka, Ching-along,
ching-along,
Shoo-ba-da-day-o. Cuckoo-cuckoo-dwee-o.
Cuckoo-cuckoo-dwee-o,
With the single-up-a-da-boo. She makes you want to move. With the single-up-a-da-boo. It's really quite real. Improvising with a jazzy sound.
keep it
Shooting
up.
to the right of all town. Saxophone and jamming all day. Trumpets, drums, clarinets. Improvising with a jazzy sound. Shooting to the right of all town. Piano and jamming all day. Street bass and vocals too. Skating and singing along. It makes you want to move. It's really quite real. It makes you want to move. It's really quite real.
All right. So maybe you noticed something about that that piece at the end. What happened near the end? Did you notice? The two parts came together. You remember what that's called? Yeah, canon, correct. So if you were keeping that beat the whole time, did you notice it was challenging to figure out where it was? Did you notice the feel of the music had this different kind of feel to it because it wasn't in an even number? It wasn't 4/4. It wasn't 2/4. It was 5. Okay, and so we're going to come back to that. It's kind of I love that song actually. It's very exciting. So 5/4 is when there are how many beats in a measure? The top number tells us 5, right? 5. So when we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was the tempo from the song. That goes all the way through. It doesn't change. It stays in 5. Now, when something is in 5/4, it's divided into 2 groups. So these notes, we can divide these into 2 groups, either groups of 2 or 3. Okay, so if I go in here and just kind of move this down a little bit. So this is how we're going to do the next part. So if we did something different, body percussion for the first 3 beats and then something else for the second 2, that would really reinforce that feeling. So pick something that you can do for the first 3. So here's your toolbox. You can tap, I snap. You can snap. You can tap, 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 tap. There's many places to tap, right? Then you could, swish if you wanted to. You could stomp your foot, and